How's it going, everybody? This is Ed with the Broken Controller Club here for a very special occasion. That's why I got my party hat on and everything. I'm going to do a quick little introduction and a comparison of my PS5 that I got on pre-order. Took a little while longer to get here than I wanted because we had a little bit of a tropical storm coming through Florida, and it took me a little while to get mine. So, it got here. I'm not complaining. So. But I wanted to do a quick comparison between the consoles before I go into the footage I took of the UI and the home screen and all that, just to give you an idea of what you have to look forward to if you're interested in purchasing one. Or maybe it's a deciding factor in whether you want to have one or not. Or in this case, if you can fit it in your house, because, geez, that thing's enormous. That's what she said. So, let's get started. I actually wanted to do a quick comparison, just like side by side, what the consoles looked like. And again, this is my OG PS4. I've had this thing since like 2014. And I have way more video games than I should be proud of having. So, but yeah, OG PS4 compared to this guy, it's enormous. It is the biggest, I'm pretty sure it's the biggest console that's ever been made. I don't think there's anything bigger than this. So, much larger than the PS4. Much larger than the PS4 Slim. Still not as large as your mother, though, so we have that. Now, as far as what's going on here, we've got a USB in the front. We've also got some other little attachment here. It is this guy right there. Not 100% sure where that goes to yet, and I've only owned the console for a day now. I looked in the manual. I didn't see it in there either, so if you know what it is, let me know in the comments. Save me a Google search, maybe. But otherwise, obviously, I got the disc version of it because I still like collecting physical copies of games. And on the back here, including all the ventilation and all that stuff that's back here, you've got a couple USB ports, and you've got your HDMI and obviously your AC adapter. Something I'm not thrilled about with this one is all the glossiness to it. Like, at first it looks really shiny and real sexy. It's gonna capture dust like crazy, so I'm not into that. But then at the same time, some of the matte look always looks a little cheap at times too. So I can understand why they went with a nicer look in that case. But yeah, I mean, the advertisement, the Instagram and social media and the memes and stuff, it really does look like a router. So, but just by comparison though as well, I brought out one more console because I wanted to show the picture of that, or I wanted to show the size of that. And that is this guy right here. If you're putting up an old NES up next to the PS5, and it's still pretty big. So, the very oldest that I have, actually that's not true, I have a ColecoVision. But one of the very oldest that I have compared with this guy right here, and it's a beast. So, onto the controllers. The PS4, the DualShock 4, always felt really cheap and flimsy to me. It's not a rage quit friendly controller, and I know that from as many times as I've played Neo and Dark Souls and Mega Man 11 also. This one feels like it's going to shatter in my hand sometimes when I grip it like too much. Like I hear, even when I'm not angry, I hear like little cracks and stuff in there from things shifting. I'm like, this feels kind of cheap. World of difference with this guy. The haptic feedback alone in this thing is awesome. So if you haven't played anything on the PS5 yet that takes advantage of this at all, there's such a world of difference in playing with this controller as compared to the DualShock 4. The triggers, the buttons, everything feels like it has life to it, in addition to it being a really sturdy build. There's little, and I know you can't see it from here, but there's texture to the back of the controller as well, so it just feels a lot more like I'm not going to have it slip out of my hand, which oddly enough is something that happens a lot when I'm holding an Xbox One controller. I don't know why, but like me and everybody in my house, like the controllers fall out of our hands with no problem. Maybe I just have smooth hands like that. Maybe I should get into male modeling for just the hands, you know. Otherwise though, I mean, it's got the microphone built into it, got the touchpad on it like it always has, and you've got still your options, you got your share button, and it charges with USB-C, so you got that as well. Things I don't like about the console other than the size and just the glossiness, I mean, that's kind of it. So far, I mean, it runs really quietly. I haven't encountered any problems with it that other people have reported online with their consoles, so I consider myself lucky. I'm not a big fan of being an early adopter to consoles, specifically because I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with a red ring of death or anything like that. So, my suggestion is if you can hold off, I mean, unless you really, really want one, it's always safest to wait like 6 months to a year. It's for them to kind of get some of the bugs worked out. Maybe they'll issue a new series out or something that you know, eliminates some issues too. But me, so far, I haven't had any problems with it. One last thing that I want to mention to this before I go on to the UI and the home screen and all that is that this does come with a little vertical stand on it. So, and it really just took like a minute to put on. So, but that, I don't know, I thought that was nice that it came with that too, because it's usually like, I know with the PS2 to get the vertical stand for that, it was like an extra 15 or 20 bucks. So, which, as expensive as this thing was, as it is, you know, it's nice that, you know, they threw in something else with that. So, but let's move on to the UI and see what we think of that. Setup was quick and easy, even for someone like myself who only graduated from public high school and got my associate's degree from a community college that technically no longer exists. The sexy blue lights came on, and after kicking my loved ones off the TV, it took about 5 minutes of setting up my PlayStation Plus account and remembering a long-forgotten router password. After logging in whenever you start up, you're dropped off at the home screen where you've got fast access to everything you'll want. The Explore button shows you the latest news and updates and also highlights whoever pays marketing costs to peddle their crap in hopes that you'll buy it, and from there you've got all your PS5 and PS4 games available in your library. From what I can tell, your full PS4 game collection is totally available here, including all your save data that's been uploaded to the cloud, and you can also transfer everything from an external device here. If you want to use a streaming service, you'll want to tab over to Media, where all your media applications are now kept. The new PlayStation Store is a little confusing and, in my opinion, has too many of these tiles all over the place. That said, I don't actually use the console to buy my games and prefer the computer or a mobile device. The search function is much better than on the PS4 though. The settings layout is largely unchanged from the PS4, and if you really like getting depressed, tab on over to the storage section where you get to find out how minuscule your storage space is. A 1TB solid-state drive is going to get you a whopping 660 gigabytes of space, which, as of this video, the console only allows external drive storage for PS4 games and not the PS5 itself. If that isn't a cold slap in the John Anderson, I don't really know what is. Hitting the PlayStation button on the DualSense brings up a quick menu that gives you access to your profile, friends, you can switch between games, you can start parties from there, all that good stuff. If you weren't aware, the leveling system for the trophies have been revamped for the new gen as well, with levels being easier to obtain and also have a much higher cap of 999. Something I think is swanky is that you can customize the quick menu to make it even quicker, I guess? So that is it for my external and internal overview of the PS5. As soon as scalpers stop ruining everything and retailers stop enabling them, I will get my hands on an Xbox Series X and let you know my thoughts on that as well. Also, if you paid attention to my home screen, you can expect to see reviews of Demon's Souls, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, and Bug Snacks just as soon as I can crank them out. If you like what you see and want to check out my other reviews and gaming goodies, remember to subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you again here very soon. Take care, everybody. Congratulations! You're one of an elite few to make it to the end of the video. Reward yourself by hitting the round subscribe button in the middle, and then check out the other goodies I've got and the links next to it.